Congratulations, you have officially passed the option period and now you are under contract for your house, for the house that you're purchasing. I'm so happy for you. So, what happens once you are past the option period? Let's talk about it. So, the first thing, in all honesty, is that you must go back and review and make sure that you've done everything during the option period that you should have done, okay? So, we're going to start with the inspection. Did you have an inspection? Did you get an inspection report? Did you review the inspection report with your realtor? And did you ask the inspector any questions that you had? That's priority, okay? Then you and your realtor could go back if necessary and renegotiate price or concessions or whatever you need to, or repairs for that property before you are officially under contract and cannot pull out of the contract, okay? All right, did you get insurance? Did you make sure that the home is insurable? Is it an insurance rate that you can afford? Do you need flood insurance? Does that insurance company require that you make repairs to the property in order for you to be insured beyond your closing date? Make sure you ask all those questions, and because you live in the Houston area, make sure that you know what your deductibles are, what your coverage is. Do you have coverage for wind? Do you have coverage for tornado? Do you have coverage for flood? Do you have coverage for whatever rider you might need? What's the cost of that? Did you comparatively shop? And if you are purchasing during hurricane season, if after you sign on the dotted line, if a hurricane hits your house the next day, are you covered? I bet you think you are, but you might not be. So you better ask all these questions, okay? And go with someone who is knowledgeable in insurance. Use an insurance company that answers all of your questions, okay? Did you get a home warranty? It's not insurance, but it does help you if your AC goes out. Maybe it'll reduce the cost of parts and labor and all that good stuff. Or if your dishwasher goes out. Home warranties really do help with a lot of expenses. Depending on the condition of the home and how old the appliances or features of the home are. So it's good to have. Okay, so price that out, go with a reputable company, and get that if you need it. Internet and cable and phone. Did you know that in the Houston area there have been brand new subdivisions? I can think of one in particular where people purchased homes and didn't realize that that neighborhood was not internet ready or cable ready. And some of the folks who purchased those homes, they technically need to be able to work from home, and they couldn't. So just make sure that there's internet and cable and phone service in that property that you can access, okay? Understand if there is one company that services that area or if there's competition, what the pricing is, and all that good stuff. Understand that, especially if you're a person who might need to, in an emergency, really reach out and connect with folks, and you need the telephone, a standard home phone, or you need really reliable internet, or if you work from home, make sure you have that. Flooding. Did the house flood before? If the house didn't flood, did the street flood before? So if your house doesn't flood, but your car is out in the street, and the streets have a tendency to flood, and then you lose your car, you prepared for that? This leads me into the next point, which is talking to your neighbors and finding things out. But flooding, make sure you understand what's going on with that. Is there an elevation certificate for the house? Do you know what the cost of flood insurance is? Are you good with that? Are you okay with that? What's going on there? You and your realtor really should have found all that out even before you were under contract. But just in case, I'm sharing just in case these are things that weren't taken care of, right? You need to go back and take care of it. Talk to neighbors. This is 50-50 with realtors. Some realtors don't want outside input. I am one who welcomes discussion with neighbors. If I am showing a home and we come outside and there's a neighbor outside, usually I'm going to go introduce myself to that neighbor and then introduce my client and say, hey, they're looking at this house. How long have you lived in the neighborhood? And then I let them take the conversation from there, and then my client can ask questions. Now, some neighbors are great. Some neighbors are trouble with a capital T. But hey, either way, have the conversation and find out what's what, right? Did you complete all of your lender forms? And before you ended the option period, did you and your realtor check with the lender and make sure that you had supplied everything that you were supposed to supply? Because if you didn't, you better get it done. It's important. Now, I know the option period was nuts, okay? You had maybe 5 days or 7 days, or if you were trying to be super competitive, Lord have mercy, you might have only had 3 days or no days. It just, depends on what you negotiated, right? But the option period is a very important period. You don't skip it unless you're intimately acquainted with the condition of that home and neighborhood and all that good stuff, right? But for the most part, when you're buying a house just kind of off the street, an option period is very good to have. It was nuts during your option period. You were probably stressing out. You were probably freaking out. That's okay. That's normal. That happens. I hope you had a realtor who helped you. If I was your realtor, I helped you. I know I did. But now you're under contract. It's also known as the escrow period. So what happens now? So now, breathe, honey. Just breathe. It's all good, okay? So now what's happening is the title company is doing a deep dive on the title. They're making sure that there are no encumbrances or cloud on the title. They're checking the people out to make sure that they don't have some weird lawsuits hanging out that's going to keep them from being able to sell the house or blah blah blah. They're doing deep dives, okay? So that's why things are very quiet right now. From your lender's perspective, things are quiet because your lender is doing a very deep dive on your personal finances, the finances for everyone on the loan if you are using financing, if you're getting a mortgage, and the underwriter who works in conjunction with the lender is doing a deep dive into your finances, okay? Into your taxes, into your income, into your credit, into all of it. So this is why when you are in option, you want to make sure that you've turned in everything you need to turn in so that their search is complete. It's not really great when underwriting comes back to you during the escrow period or goes back to your lender and says, hey, we need an IRS transcript, or we need an explanation as to why they were late on their home payments from this date to that date from their previous mortgage, or whatever it is. Give them everything up front. Be totally transparent. It helps you, okay? It helps you. You're probably getting a copy of your title policy. This is a great time to learn how to read a title policy, the A, the B, and the C, okay? Maybe I'll make a video about that sometime, but this is a fantastic time to learn about that. And as you read it, you'll see what you're covered for, what you're not covered for, and you'll understand a little bit more about the responsibilities that the title company has, and you'll understand why title costs what it does. And by the way, title insurance in the state of Texas is promulgated. Those prices are set by the state, okay? A lot of those prices. I think there might be a few fees in there that are not, but for the most part, those prices are the same pretty much wherever you go. They're similar. I'll say that. They're similar. And then if things go really well, now if things don't go well, you might wind up renegotiating a little bit or a lot. Relax, follow the lead of the brokerage and the agent that you went with. There's ways to get help from the state if something's going weird or wrong. You can always report things, but for the most part, just relax, renegotiate, and do what makes sense, financial sense for you, okay? But if things are going well, you're probably going to get your instructions and you're clear to close, and you're going to get a CD, a closing disclosure, that's going to show you every single thing that you're going to pay. And then you're going to go to closing on the scheduled day and time, and then you're going to sign a gazillion papers, like a battery of papers, and then you're going to get your keys, and you are a new homeowner, okay? So that's what happens after the option period. I hope that you ask every single question that you could possibly have. Ask your realtor everything. If I'm your realtor, I encourage questions. Don't be stressed. Just ask for answers, okay? All right, y'all take care. Talk to you later. Bye.